our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern.
So President Biden tonight gave a speech, a farewell speech to mark the end of his term, and he touched on a lot of common points that he's been touching on before when he was actually campaigning for the presidency and afterwards as well, right? So he's talking about protecting democracy, he's talking about the reach of social media and the influence of the wealthy in politics. So all of those points he touched on tonight to kind of reiterate his concerns over those points.
This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
He also touched, obliquely on the Trump administration and the transition to that administration, and how he, sort of wished it well and was cooperating with it, but was trying to sort of say that, he had concerns about what might happen under a Trump administration.
We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office. The president's power is not limited. It's not absolute, and it shouldn't be. And I wish the incoming administration success, because I want America to succeed. That's why I have held my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. Thank you.
Books credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you. The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people, from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather.
He also highlighted a lot of the things that he feels that he has been able to do as president and has been responsible for. So that was very interesting to hear that part as well. I think overall it was a decent speech, highlighting what he felt was some of his accomplishments. And really, I think this was the kind of speech he probably should have made more often during his presidency if he wanted to get those points across. I think the speech also highlighted probably why he was wise to step down from the campaign, even if he felt like he might have been able to win the campaign, which is highly doubtful. But his delivery was often halting and he stumbled over his words. which really doesn't destroy or take away from the essence of the speech. But, it does make it sort of more difficult to believe in him as a strong and forceful leader. So I think that was part of what he was battling during the speech. But overall, it was an interesting speech to hear as he wrapped things up. Nothing sort of earth-shattering was mentioned. No mention of pardons that might be coming, if at all, for people that worked for him. And really, as most, general end farewell speeches or State of the Union speeches are going to be, they're going to highlight all the good stuff and ignore any of the bad things that happened. So I think his speech was in line with what we were sort of expecting at this point. And nothing startling, nothing terribly interesting, but also nothing very embarrassing. So that marks really the end of Biden's administration. In a couple of days, he'll hand it over to Trump, and we will see what happens after that.